I wanted to do a special video today. I just got a really cool piece of equipment. This is my extremely overcomplicated rig that I use for recording. And recently I got this all the way from Australia. This is the Dazatronyx Big Fuzz Console, or BFC. Built by a gentleman down under named Darren. Super nice guy. Before I go any further, I wanted to say that this isn't a paid promotion or anything. I'm just really passionate about this musical device, and I thought it was really cool, and I'll explain what it is. This is a Big Muff circuit that is completely moddable. Every component in the circuit, every resistor, capacitor, clipping diode, etc., can be modified to different historic Big Muff settings, which is really cool. So conceivably, you can dial any variant of any Big Muff circuit ever created using this pedal and all these different toggle features. You can also create completely unique muff circuits on the fly. So the way I've approached this pedal so far, and I've only scratched the surface of what it's really capable of, but what I've found is best to do is to find schematics of various muff circuits on bigmuffpage.com and then dialing in those settings on the pedal. And I'm so stoked that I was one of the people who was able to snag one of these. There are only 20 units that have been produced so far to my knowledge, and Darren is working on building more. But it's going to be probably one of those things that's few and far between because there's so many different parts involved. So if you do have the opportunity to grab one of these on the aftermarket or directly from Darren, I would definitely suggest doing that. When I came across this pedal a couple of months ago when it was still in the prototype stage, I found a picture of it on Facebook where Darren had uploaded a picture of the prototype pedal. And I thought it was really cool and interesting, so I cross-referenced it with the wiring diagrams from bigmuffpage.com, and I created this really useful graphic that's available on my website, bipolarrecorder.com, for free download for anyone who wants to check out what every single one of those toggle features does. You can see all of these different components and all of these different switches control different resistors, capacitors, etc., like I was describing before. The Big Muff Fuzz is one of my all-time favorite fuzz pedals for guitar. I'm particularly fond of the Red Army Overdrive variant from the early 90s, which was built in Russia. I've been mostly experimenting with those Russian muff circuits for that reason. Now, with all that said, I'm going to show you what this pedal can do, or at least just a little bit of what this pedal can do. I'm playing my custom bipolar caster featuring the Bipolar Recorder Project logo on it. These stickers are available at bipolarrecorder.com/shop if you want to grab a sticker. Bipolar Recorder is a mental health advocacy mission that I spearhead. I've been doing it since 2021. Involves a lot of really cool multimedia content related to sharing stories about living with serious mental illness. Definitely check that out too. Alright, so I have turned off everything except a slight EQ clean boost using my MXR 10-band EQ. I always run a slight clean boost on my guitars. This is my clean tone. Wow. So that's just what my clean tone sounds like for reference. Now I will engage the BFC. Like I was saying earlier, I like the Russian muffs best, so I've dialed in a Russian Civil War muff era whatever circuit on here. And so this is what it sounds like. I'll play clean for a second. And now I will engage. Alright, so that's a pretty nice sounding fuzz if you ask me. By the way, I'm just recording this with my cell phone. I'm sorry I can't get higher quality audio clips, but I hope you'll still be able to hear what I'm talking about when I show you how these different settings sound when you start experimenting with them. Alright. Now, this is just me adjusting the normal tone control. So, just the normal tone control like you'd find on any Big Muff. But if we want to, we can adjust the low pass filter that impacts the tone control. So that would be the R8 setting if you look on this circuit diagram. Now let me find R8 on here real quick. So if we put in a small capacitor and then a larger resistor, that'll decrease the treble. So let's just mess around with that, see what it sounds like. Yeah. As we mess around with that, as we increase the low pass filter value, it gets a little more splattery sounding, almost a little bit more like a fuzz face, just in a very general sense. But I'm putting it back more toward where the standard like Civil War Russian circuit setting would be. There's a lot of things you can mess around with on this that I haven't even really gotten to experimenting with yet. So I'm just gonna play for a few minutes and adjust different settings, and we'll see what kind of tones we can come up with. The most dramatic things you can adjust would be the transistors, which can be selected from using these knobs up top. And those are in the Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 locations on the diagram. But those are the parts of the circuit that are really associated most with the different voicings of different eras of Muff. So let's just tweak those a little bit. Yeah, so there's all sorts of stuff you can mess around with here. Extremely cool circuit. Really cool that someone finally went ahead and did this. This also, of course, stacks really great with overdrives. This is a modified rat circuit that I love to stack with this. So yeah, I mean, if you can find one of these, definitely check it out. They're super cool. Remember that bipolarrecorder.com is where you can find a free download for the circuit diagram that I made. And while you're there, check out all of our great mental health advocacy work. I'm a musician, of course. You can find my music on Spotify, Apple, etc., etc. If you search my name, Hunter Keegan. So check out my music, check out my mental health advocacy work, bipolarrecorder.com. Thanks so much. Keep rocking in the free world.